I broke my back.
What do you mean by that? You broke?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
Big shout out to everybody in Riverside. And as a kid, I always wanted to meet Don King. But now I think Don King's a fucking asshole. He's a racist.
No. We're not going down that road.
None bigger than this. Maybe the biggest upset of this decade.
Ese estilo es un fuck you, dile, porque él puede quedar bien con la pelea.
Welcome everybody to the Mr. Boxing Guru podcast. It is me once again, Mr. Boxing Guru. I told you guys I was going to try to do this on a weekly basis, maybe twice a week. Once a week is fine for now, but let's try to do this again. I know last week we had a lot of audio problems. I've been trying to mess this thingamajiggy here, but it doesn't seem to work. Don't forget to like, subscribe on YouTube. Let's try to get this going on YouTube, guys. That way we could I don't know, get a little bigger there. I know you guys, everybody listens through all these other platforms, which is cool, but seeing you guys' comments every once in a while, just like on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is kind of neat. And remember, you could always follow me at Mr. Boxing Guru on, again, Twitter and on Instagram. Let's get to it right away. Just a quick rant. I wanted to talk about the greatness of Chocolatito. For those of you guys that didn't know, on the Zone this week, Roman Gonzalez fights Julio Cesar Martinez to a unanimous decision. And it just, how can I say this? Because I was a bit against the fight. I thought that Martinez was going to come and he was going to put hands on Chocolatito. I think Chocolatito was, in my opinion, this is me, let's think back on the fight. I thought Chocolatito was, a little older already. We see him struggle versus the Rat Eater. We saw him lose to Gallo. So I said, you know what, him fighting one of these young Mexican stars, I don't think it's fair. I get it that the other kid was coming up in weight, but the fact of the matter is that he's still younger, fresher, stronger, dude. Again, in my opinion. Chocolatito, of course, I think he's a cult fan favorite for most boxing fans. Really find a way to appreciate him. We enjoy him. We like how much he makes, how much his offense is, his defense, and how beautiful and well balanced more than anything he is in there. I know a lot of us have been following Chocolatito again, especially the hardcore boxing fans. We've been following Chocolatito for many years. We've seen him fight it. I think it was Alameda Swap Meet at one point. So to see him fight, to see him come to where I know he's making very good money now, it's really amazing, because these smaller weight classes never really made a lot of money, and now, because, and this has to go back to like Loeffler, and because I remember Tom Loeffler putting on, the Superfly, and it was Chocolatito, and then there was this guy and that guy, Cuadras and whatnot. So it created sort of a hardcore boxing cult, again, in Chocolatito spearheading pretty much most of it. And we got to enjoy the fights a lot more than just, your welterweight matches that would come out, or your Canelos, your Golovkins, you name it, your PBC guys. It's just, and I think the beauty about Chocolatito really is that I don't think, because, how can I explain this? There's many boxing fans that for some fucking stupid reason end up raising a flag for a promotional company, instead of just bashing all of them. So I think Chocolatito is the type of guy that it's okay for everybody to root for, because, again, he's not that asshole. He's a good dude. He's not flamboyant. He's not, telling everybody to fuck off or to fight each other or to do any of that. All Chocolatito does is tell you to God bless you, and if you insult him, he's the type of guy that, turns the other cheek. So you can't help but to root for Chocolatito, appreciate Chocolatito, and more than anything, I think at this point I was more than anything being reminiscent of that Chocolatito that we saw a couple of years back. But for some reason, again, deep in my head, and call me fucking stupid or whatnot, but deep in my head, I thought Julio Cesar Martinez was the guy to beat him. I think he came with a strong camp. I know it was a short notice, but again, there's a guy going up in weight, so he'll be able to focus more on his craft instead of just cutting weight. I thought it was a perfect chance for a guy like Julio Cesar Martinez to capitalize on a guy on a name like Chocolatito and, do great things. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. Well, fortunately, because, at the end of the day, we have to root for Chocolatito. You have to be amazed at the type of fight that Chocolatito just did. Chocolatito fought like I wish most of my lightweight favorites would actually do. He just looked beautiful out there. He was fucking textbook. He was everything that they teach you at a boxing gym. He did everything that they teach you at a boxing gym. All the basic fundamentals, he did it, and he showed why it's so great to follow those fundamentals instead of being flashy and pawing and shoulder rolling and whatnot. It was just a beautiful, beautiful fight on his hand. And the most beautiful thing that at the end of the fight, he looked like he wasn't even in a fight. As a matter of fact, I believe this Monday, Chocolatito was back in the gym. Something that you really do not see him do. Chocolatito usually long gone and back to Nicaragua and doing his thing. That's not what happened after this fight. So to add insult to injury, what's his face? Julio Cesar Martinez was all banged up. Chocolatito looked great, and Chocolatito actually, I don't know, man. He just we have to appreciate when we see these type of fighters. Again, these are the type of guys that don't come as often as they should. We don't see these fighters. We don't see the level of greatness, unfortunately, in a lot of fighters until they're gone. The fact that we got to see this type of fight from Chocolatito at this portion of his career is fucking amazing. And I thank God we have a Chocolatito that'll make us, again, sit back and not bash boxing, but actually enjoy it. As for Julio Cesar Martinez, look, man, the kid is great. He's solid. He's strong. I think at his own weight, I think he'll be great. I think even if he would have gotten the fight, if he would have gotten a full camp, I think he would have done maybe a little better. But again, not to take anything away from Chocolatito, this was absolutely great. I think I've seen the fight maybe about 4 or 5 times. I don't know, man. It was just amazing, and it goes back to sometimes you get carried away with the trainer that somebody has. You kind of figured, and this was again, and I'll take it back to me. You kind of take it back to saying, okay, this guy is trained by Reynoso. I have a little faith in him. He is the trainer right now at the moment for the last 2 years, so he should be good. He should capitalize on this. But no, that didn't happen. Reynoso and the guys and Martinez's dad seemed kind of fucking clueless on what they wanted him to do. I don't know if they thought Chocolatito was going to get tired later or what, but they didn't. I don't know. It was, and again, it wasn't and again, I don't want to knock on their game plan as much as well, but it was not so much what Martinez did, but how great Chocolatito did. So kudos to Chocolatito. I really hope we see the Gallo Estrada fight. I really wanted to go to San Diego for this fight, but once they said that Gallo wasn't fighting, I didn't really care much for the fight. And honestly, I thought Chocolatito was going to get his ass beat again. That didn't happen, so again, this is a great thing. Other fights from the weekend was what's this goofy kid name? No, I call him the PG-13 Brandon Rios. And of course, I'm talking about Ramirez. Ramirez actually bounces back from his loss and his title unification fight that he had a couple of months ago about a year ago now, versus Josh Taylor. And he actually fights Jose Pedraza and it fights to a unanimous decision. You see, I like Ramirez. You know, he's obviously not a world beater. Once you get into the big guys out there, he's not going to do that great, but he's fun to watch. You know, he's sort of like Brandon Rios was. As you guys already know, I was a big fan of Brandon Rios. I followed his career since he was like, 10, 12 fights in. But this guy almost reminds me a lot of him, a lot of Brandon. Brandon, of course, had a better, in my opinion, better inside fighting style. But the style is there. I like the kid, but I don't know how much, especially when you knew Pedraza, how he fought versus Tank, and then you get a bigger guy like Jose Martinez that eventually has a body frame at least to be at welterweight, if not at 54. Do versus a guy like that, and especially so many years after Tank fought him again, and that's why I don't think people understand when fighters when boxing fans push for certain fights. The reason why I think folks are so hard on Tank is because we all understand that Tank's a special fighter, and when we get shit from, let's say, fans because Munguia isn't fighting tough fights, because we understand the type of fighter Munguia is, but again, we'll talk about that a little later. Yeah, so as far as Jose Ramirez, what's next? What is this Catterall guy? I mean, the guy that got robbed on the Taylor fight. That's great. I would love to see Ramirez versus Taylor. I think it'll be a great fight. Ramirez. I mean, there's so much fun fights to make at 140 still from these guys that are going up from, like I said, the Teofimos and maybe even the Ryan Garcias of the world and whatnot. I mean, I think those fights are fun fights for Jose Ramirez if he can continue to make 140 pounds, because those belts should be going loose pretty soon now that Josh Taylor has now said that he's not going to come back down to 140 pounds to fight again. But yeah, that was what I got off of the weekend. I mean, of course, there's other news, and of course, we got to talk about it. Let's see. What else? Because I did write a piece of paper. Let me see if I can find it. Oh! Sorry about that. Mic issues. My panza's over here grabbing the cord. Oh, yeah. So of course, we know Golovkin's back. That's great. Let's see. What else? Rigondeaux got in a fight with a toaster. Some shit I've heard. He lost 80% of his vision. That guy's not having the best of luck. I think it's like boxing karma coming back to beat the shit out of him, since he beat the shit out of our fucking eyes and brains after all those fucking snooze fests. So yeah, I heard something about a pressure cooker. Maybe it was a bunch of frijoles that finally popped in his face for being so fucking boring. Let's see. What else did we get? Oh, the Gervonta Davis back versus the rapist and Rolly Romero back on May 28th. So we're looking forward to that. Let's see. What else do we have? I mean, again, Golovkin versus Murata's coming up, I believe, in a month as well. So there's a lot of boxing going on. There's a lot of, stuff being moved around and whatnot. So let's see. Of course, we got the heavyweight fight that's coming up soon. Let's see. What else do we have? This weekend, we got a Showtime in South Dakota. Great. Throwaway fights. March 11th in Montreal. Again, same thing. Throwaway fights. March 11th. Let's see. March 12th. Yeah, it looks like. On the 19th, March 19th, we actually have Edgar Berlanga versus. No fucking way. Edgar Berlanga versus Steve Rose. If he goes fucking life and death with Steve Rose, we got a fucking problem. Of course, in the undercard, there's Xander Saenz. That kid is special. I'm really looking forward to the kid, and hopefully we get more Puerto Rican good solid fighters. Virgil Ortiz on the 19th as well. Virgil Ortiz versus Michael McKinson. That fight should be fun. Hopefully I can go to the Gallon Center on that. Again, that's what, a week and a half from now. So that should be fun. Let's see who else. That's it for now for March 19th. All the way to March 19th. Who else? That is it. Then we go, of course, on March 26th. We're going to have Berchel versus Jeremiah Nakathila. And that's what we have so fight. And then Kiko Martinez or Josh Warrington on March 26th on DAZN. Of course, the news from DAZN is that they're going up in price, and now they actually have a pay-per-view, which is the Canelo fight, the Canelo versus Bivol, then Canelo versus Golovkin, then Canelo versus, God knows, probably another fucking Brit. For some reason, Canelo doesn't like fighting fighters that are a little darker than him, so be it. And I've been getting asked this question about the pay-per-view. Look, the pay-per-view, nobody wants to fucking pay pay-per-view. I don't know why people are so happy about pay-per-view. I like the subscription base. I like the idea because even if most of the year you're not getting great content, you don't mind paying the extra $20 or paying the flat rate of $100 a month. So fucking what? You get fights every other weekend? Great. So, and that was fine, and if you got a big Canelo fight, somewhere in between or 2 fights a year, that Canelo fight, and you pay those $100 so you don't feel like you're getting milk. So you get a Brit card every once in a while, and then you get maybe an Anthony Joshua, and then maybe you get a couple of Golden Boy fights, throw in a Munguia and whatnot. Great. But this whole pay-per-view thing, it's kind of fucked up, honestly, because you get the zone because you don't want to look for a stream. Okay, we get it. People like to stream. But you get the zone because you don't want to go out and look for a stream of a fighter. Okay? Now, I feel like these companies are training people to be streamers. Not everybody knows how to download apps. Not everybody knows how to go get links. Especially the older folks. I'm talking about the folks that are 40 plus. 40, 45, 50, 15-year-old boxing fans now know how to, go and find a link and figure shit out, point blank. And now it seems like, again, because it was such an easy thing to do with the zone and the downloads and whatnot, I believe that now it's so much easier to just find a link. If that's the case, if you're going to charge me to stream a fight, I might as well really fucking stream a fight. Really get that black box or, a free-to-air box. So it's kind of, again, I get it what they're doing. I get that they can't afford, but that's not what they originally pitched. And this, I'm talking about the zone. You get all these fights for flat fees, like sort of like your Netflix, like your HBO Max and whatnot. Now they want to flip the script now that they saw Canelo actually still sell pay-per-views. It's sort of the same shit when Showtime started saying free pay-per-view. I don't want to be on pay-per-view. I want to be on network TV. Just for them to turn around and do like a pay-per-view even for like a Rolly Romero and whatnot. I mean, fucking Rolly's a fucking bar club fighter. That now we have to pay for it. And that's when people start putting their foot down. They start saying, you know what, fuck you, boxing. You're not so kind to me. I'm just going to stream everything. And that's when they lose people. That's why sometimes they talk, the big heads in boxing talk shit about boxing fans, but it's not that boxing fans want to stream. We want a quality product. We just don't want to be fucking fucked in the ass for it. That's all. So that's just my point of view on the pay-per-view thing. Hopefully things... we'll see how it happens. I did hear somebody say, I really hope that Murata beats the shit out of Triple G and that Canelo gets his ass fucking sparked by Bivol. That way it'll ruin all fucking future pay-per-views. So, hey, if that's what it takes, fuck it. Spark them up. All right, guys, I'm pretty much done. I just wanted to go on a quick rant and make sure I come and at least once a week talk to you guys. I always appreciate you guys. Let's hope we continue to do this. And hasta luego. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.